Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Kayfabe Central podcast. Welcome back to Predict the Bell. I am your host, Josh, as always, and we are here, like I said, with another Predict the Bell episode. One of many Predict the Bell episodes because we have a lot of pay per views this weekend. Um, so, got a lot of work to do the next couple days, and especially this coming weekend. Because every company and wrestling promotion decided to have their show this weekend. So, yeah, we're here with the AEW Double or Nothing 2025 predictions. Uh, this match is a 7 match card as of right now. This I'm doing this before AEW Dynamite, and I think this is going to be coming out before AEW Dynamite. So, for one of the matches that I'll get into later, we don't know much about, and we'll probably find out more about that on Dynamite. But before we get into this, like always, do a little bit of self promo. Make sure you subscribe, like, and comment. Hit the notification bell so you're up to date with all the videos, podcasts, interviews, and everything coming from this channel. Go ahead and subscribe to the Ko-Fi page. I think I pronounced that right. But Kayfabe Central now is a Ko-Fi page where I will be posting exclusive content, hopefully starting this week. It is a pretty hectic week for wrestling. So hopefully I can get some content on there. But go ahead and give your support over on the Ko-Fi page. I will be uploading like exclusive interviews, podcast episodes that won't be on YouTube. So, pretty exclusive stuff on there. So go ahead and subscribe to that. And yeah, just stay tuned for all those podcasts and all those things. I'll even be doing things like movie reviews and show reviews on there. So we're really gonna be switching it up a lot on there. So if you're not totally into exclusive wrestling podcasts, but you want me to cover a show or something when I have time, then I will be more than happy to do that. So, just let me know in the comments what you'd like to see on the Ko-Fi page. Um, but yeah, I think that's all the self promo. Go ahead and if you plan on WWE, if you plan on going on WWE Shop and buying anything, go ahead and use my link. I will put that in the description as well. It just helps me out. You don't get a discount or anything, but it just helps me out by using my link by purchasing something on WWE Shop. So go ahead and check that out as well. But that's all the self promo out of the way. We are going to jump straight into this because we have a lot to do. So, first, the two out of 7 of these matches on this card are the Owen Hart Foundation Tournament Final. One of them being Mercedes Moné versus Jamie Hayter. Now, on the website and everything, I have Mercedes Moné winning this. And I think I am going to stick with that, but I recently heard a few people talking that Athena might cost Mercedes the match. And that really has me thinking because that is a possibility. Athena and Mercedes have never had a one-on-one match before. Even in WWE, it was always like tag matches, 6-woman tag matches, triple threats, but they've never actually had a one-on-one match, which is pretty crazy actually. Um, so I don't know. I think I might switch my prediction to Jamie Hayter because the possibility of Athena interrupting is pretty high because I don't think Athena is doing anything in Ring of Honor at the moment. I don't think she's feuding with anyone to say, she's feuding with this person. It wouldn't make sense for her to interfere in Mercedes matches. I don't know if I completely like the idea of having an interference in the Owen Hart Foundation finals. I feel like it should be either done in some other capacity or, just have a clean finish. Um, Whether or not I'll completely change my pick to Jamie Hayter, I'm not sure. But, as time progresses, I'm slowly leaning towards Jamie Hayter. And I might just end up completely switching my prediction and picking Jamie Hayter. So, yeah. As of right now, it is still Mercedes, though. Because I think that when it comes to Tony Storm, because the winner of this is going to face Tony Storm for the AEW Women's World Champion, and we'll get into Tony's match a little later on. Spoiler alert: I don't think Tony's losing the title, but I was thinking from the jump that this was going to be Mercedes and Tony at All In, because those are the two main women that they're pushing. They're two main stars, and then Mercedes wins the AEW Women's World Championship. Um, but now that I have the idea in mind that Athena could cost her the match, it could go the other way. It could be Hayter versus Tony Storm. Um, I'm not completely sure yet. I Yeah, I have no idea. This could honestly go either way, and yeah, I am pretty interested in this match, especially with the fact that we might have an interference, and this could be a shocker for some people if Jamie Hayter picks up the win. On the other hand, of the men's side of the Owen Hart Foundation tournament final, we have Hangman Adam Page versus Will Ospreay. I'm sticking to my gut and my prediction from when this all started. I'm taking Will Ospreay to win this because, like the women's Owen Hart final, the winner of this will face John Moxley for the AEW World Championship. From what we know, John Moxley is not going to be defending the title on this pay per view. He's probably going to be in the main event, which we'll get into later. So yeah, I think Will Ospreay is gonna win this. There's so many other things that Hangman Adam Page can do. You could even do a world where it's Hangman and Swerve versus the Young Bucks at All In. I think that's a real high possibility. And Hangman's a guy you can throw into the world title picture at any point in time, and it wouldn't be like, oh, this is so random, because he's Hangman Adam Page, right? It's not like if you were to throw like Akira Tozawa in the world title picture, you'd be like, what the hell? Like even R-Truth versus John Cena, which is a non-title match, which I'll get into when we cross that bridge. But yeah, I think Hangman Adam Page is going to be doing something else. I don't see the reason in why Hangman Adam Page should win this match. Um, it just doesn't really make sense to me to run back Moxley and Hangman. And yeah, I have to pause this podcast because I have to get an Uber for my sister. All right, we are back. So yeah, like I was saying, I think Will Ospreay is going to win this. I don't think he's going to win the AEW World Championship against Jon Moxley, though. I think that's going to be saved for Darby Allin. It is a possibility. It's not completely out of the realm of possibility that Will Ospreay can win the title. But I just don't see it happening. I see them dragging out this Death Rider storyline all the way up until Darby Allin returns, whenever he returns from Mount Everest, and defeats Jon Moxley for the AEW World Championship. That's been what I've saying for a few months now, and I think that's just the way that they're gonna go about this. Um, One match though that I think everybody can agree on is the tag team match for the AEW World Tag Team Championships. The Hurt Syndicate, Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin, or Benjamin Shelton as Hulk Hogan would say, versus the Sons of Texas, Dustin Rhodes and Sammy Guevara. Um, I wrote this on the website that this just came off as like they scanned the roster and thought, well, we're not sure who the Hurt Syndicate should face, so we're just going to throw in the Sons of Texas. Um, the focus here, like I said on the website, is primarily around MJF, and I don't think that the contract signing on tonight's Dynamite is going to end with MJF joining the Hurt Syndicate. I think that we can get a Cedric Alexander appearance, and then he joins the Hurt Syndicate. Something's gonna happen. I just don't think that MJF is going to officially join the Hurt Syndicate tonight. I think something's gonna happen. If it does happen to be that MJF officially joins the Hurt Syndicate, then I don't really know where they're gonna go with this. Maybe they do eventually just bring in Cedric anyway. Um, But in terms of this tag team title match, it's really just a filler. Um, there was a point in time where AEW's tag division was really good, but now it just feels very blah, right? Like it just that's just how it feels right now, and it's just a whole bunch of teams that like are just put together. Like Dustin Rhodes is holding the ROH tag titles and the ROH like 6-man titles or whatever. Um, so I don't see him winning this. I don't see Dustin Rhodes being like the belt collector of tag team titles or whatever. Um, but yeah, I don't see any other result than other than the Hurt Syndicate retaining here. Um, I have no idea where they're gonna go with the MJF thing if he doesn't officially join the Hurt Syndicate tonight. If he does join them tonight, I could see a world where MJF uh, joins or not joins costs the Sons of Texas the match and helps the Hurt Syndicate win. So yeah, I can see that being the case. Um, there's nothing else really much to say about this match. There's nothing else really that I can think of here. So we are going to move on to the next match, a match in where I am probably not going to pay a whole much attention to. The singles match for the AEW Women's World Championship, Timeless Toni Storm versus Mina Shirakawa. I am not totally interested in this match. I think, like I said earlier, Toni Storm is going to retain, and that's it. I think she's going to retain, and that's going to be it. Um, I guess Mina Shirakawa is an okay opponent for Toni Storm rather than someone like Penelope Ford or something like that. Um, so I guess this is a good filler for Toni Storm until All In. But yeah, she's definitely retaining the title here. There's no doubt about that. It's a nice spotlight for Mina, but because she just got signed and she's right away getting a shot for the women's world title. But yeah, I don't see any other result than Toni Storm retaining and potentially not potentially facing either Mercedes or Jamie Hayter at All In. So yeah, this is a match where if because I'm going to have to be covering NXT Battleground at the same time, and by the way, this the buy-in for this show starts at 5:30 p.m. And I really hope that this is just not like a WWE style waste of time, like how they do for their kickoff shows. AEW tends to have buy-in matches or whatever, and matches on their pre-show or whatever. So hopefully it's not a complete waste of time, but majority of it is going to be talking anyway. But yeah, these pay-per-views don't need to be like 6, 7, 8 hours long. They really don't, and I'm just not a fan of that. But that's a little side note there. Um, yeah, if this match is on at the same time as something like Stephanie Vaquer versus Jordan Grace, then I'm probably going to be paying more attention to Vaquer versus Grace because that's not really a rematch. Yeah, they've been in matches together or whatever, but they've never had a one-on-one match. Whereas this is just a rematch and a filler for this pay-per-view. So I'd probably pay attention, if those matches are on at the same time, I'd pay attention to the Vaquer and Grace match. Uh, Another match that the storyline of that I'm not totally interested is FTR, Dax Harwood and Cash Wheeler versus Nigel McGuinness and Daniel Garcia. I think FTR is going to win this. Probably by pinning Nigel McGuinness, I'd assume. I can see a world in where Daniel Garcia joins FTR and turns on Nigel McGuinness. That can definitely be a possibility. Because Daniel Garcia really, he hasn't had that same spark since before he won the TNT title. He just doesn't have that anymore. And, he could get it back. He could get it back at any time. and hopefully he does because I do like Daniel Garcia. Um, but this FTR storyline, I'm just not totally interested in, and I don't think it's the greatest thing. This is obviously going to lead to Cope eventually returning. It feels so weird calling him Cope. Um, Adam Copeland, Edge, whatever you want to call him, it's going to lead to him returning at some point and setting up some sort of match against FTR. Um, but yeah, there's not much else to say about this. This is the match that even with Nigel McGuinness involved, which is probably the most interesting thing, um, it's not the greatest. It's not the most appealing to me. I think if this were somebody else teaming with Daniel Garcia, it definitely wouldn't be appealing. Nigel McGuinness competing is going to be very interesting, and I am excited to see Nigel back in the ring. Um, but yeah, again, not a lot to say about that match. Um, yeah, FTR wins that one. A match that should be fun though is the stretcher match between Mark Briscoe and Ricochet. Ricochet's fun, Mark Briscoe's fun. I think Ricochet's going to win. It's as simple as that. Um, there was I just found this out that there hasn't been a stretcher match in pro wrestling in years. I think the last one was 2014 with John Cena versus Kane. It was a Money in the Bank qualifying stretcher match. Um, and then I think before that it was like 2008 or something like that. Um, so it's really interesting that companies, even someone like a company like GCW hasn't done a stretcher match or something like that. So maybe AEW can make stretcher matches fun again, and make other companies and promotions want to do them. So yeah, this should be fun. I am actually looking forward to this. I hope that they do this early on in the card, so it doesn't overlap too much with Anarchy in the Arena. So yeah, I again, not a lot to say about this match. There's most of this card. There's not a lot to talk about. Um, a match that we do have quite a bit to talk about though, um, but we don't know who's in it, is the Anarchy in the Arena match. That Swerve proposed a challenge to the Death Riders and the Young Bucks and stuff last week. We have no idea. The lineup hasn't been announced for this yet. It could be 5-on-5, 6-on-6. Hell, it could be 8-on-2. I doubt it's gonna be like an 8-on-2 situation, but you never know. Um, I really don't know. If you go with the 5-on-5 situation, you can have um, Swerve, Samoa Joe. Um, who else do they have in that? I don't think Hook is going to be ready. Um, you have Willow Nightingale because they seemed like they're gonna do the intergender thing. Who else is on the babyface side that my mind is blanking right now? You go Swerve, Willow, Joe. Uh, you could throw Shibata in there. Shibata could definitely be thrown in there because we have no idea where he's been. Um, oh, and then you have Powerhouse Hobbs. So that could be your 5 right there. And for the heel side, you have Moxley, you have the Young Bucks, um, Marina Shafir, and then maybe throw in like a Claudio or something like that. I don't know if you know Okada and anybody else is going to be involved. I assume Okada is going to be defending his international title against not the international title, the Continental Championship against Speedball Mike Bailey. And yeah, that's probably the more likely case. So I can see them doing a 5-on-5. There's also the possibility of a 6-on-6 or 7-on-7. It can go either way. Um, hell, maybe even if Darby Allin can make it down, in a few days from Mount Everest, that he'll be thrown into this match and we get a surprise Darby Allin return. Either way, I think and I hope that we get the lineup announced on Dynamite tonight because I feel like if they wait till like Collision to make this announcement, that it would just be a waste and that wouldn't be a good idea. So I think that tonight should be the night that they announce this. Um, yeah, I think either way, even with the lineup not being announced, people are going to be excited for this, and they're just gonna love to see, you know, team of babyfaces and a team of heels destroying each other in Anarchy in the Arena match. Um, so yeah, most fans probably won't care much who's in it. They're just gonna love to see the chaos, which there will be a lot of in this match. So yeah, obviously no prediction because we don't know who's going to be in the match just yet. I will update it on the website once it is announced, so you guys can see my prediction for that match on there. But that's all I have here. There's been no other matches been announced for this show. I feel like the TNT title should be thrown on the buy-in. Maybe have Adam Cole defend it against somebody. The TNT title honestly could be used as a weekly title, like at least defended once a week, either on Dynamite or Collision. So I feel like they could go that route with the TNT title because every time I see the Collision spoilers, it's like, oh, okay, it's just a series of matches or whatever. So yeah, that's all I have for the Predict the Bell for this episode. Um, but don't worry, we have many more to come for this week. Uh, so yeah, that's gonna wrap it up. Let me know what you guys think, though. Let me know who you guys think is going to be in the Anarchy in the Arena match. Do you think it's going to be 5-on-5, 6-on-6, 7-on-7, 8-on-8, 10-on-10? That would be insane. A 10-on-10 Anarchy in the Arena match. Um, but yeah, just the thought of that is insane. But yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I'm going to end up getting these on Spotify real soon. I am still working on that. Um, but yeah, but for now, I appreciate you guys listening on YouTube. And make sure you leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you're up to date with all the videos, podcasts, interviews, and all that stuff. Go check out my interview with Holden Albright, by the way, if you haven't checked it out already. Great conversation and a great guy. It's my longest interview that I've done so far, but it didn't even feel like how long it went because we just had that good of a conversation. And yeah, just an all around great guy. So go ahead and check that interview out if you have time. Like grab a snack or something and turn on the interview because I think it's definitely worth the watch, especially if you're a pro wrestling fan and you're trying to expand. We've really been trying to showcase the Ontario indie scene a lot more over here on Kayfabe Central because it deserves a spotlight. But yeah, that'll do it for this episode. Again, let me know what you guys think, and I will see you guys on the next one. Take it easy.